For today's Moodle page, just so you know, if you're turning in your rodeo posters, you can upload the rodeo posters here. You're going to save it as a PDF, 2 different PDFs, upload them from there. And also today's information, be sure you download the calendar pictures to work from. We're going to be making a calendar that'll look like this. Not just like that. Let's go to the actual page. That'll look something like this. I'm going to give you a variety of pictures to pull from, and you're going to have to format the rest of it to match the color scheme of whatever picture you choose. This is a really cool illustrator that I found online. His name is Artem Shobakam. I'm going to butcher his last name. He's a digital illustrator. He does all of these different paintings in either Photoshop or a digital painting software. Let's have a look at the type of stuff he does. Really cool, really beautiful type of work. Some of it's a little bit fantasy, a lot of it usually incorporates a landscape of some sort, but all of this is digital. And these are the pictures we're going to be using. What color scheme is he using here? Complementary. There's that red and green. There's an analogous type color scheme. Very cool color scheme or a warm color scheme. And so when you look at these and as you use them, try to pick out the colors or what would match the colors that are within here. And I'll show you an easier way to be able to do this. I've given you more than 12, so you can use any of the pictures on here that you want to. No particular order that you can put them in. So when you download them, you can use those. Let's see how we set up this particular document. So if you look at it, we're going to have a picture at the very top. And the bottom half of the page is going to have text. It's going to have different text boxes to put the numbers in. And we're going to have to make lines to grid off everything. Since all the pages are going to look exactly the same, it would be great if we can set up one template, one document, and be able to reuse that template over and over again. And that's where this is going to come in. I'm going to show you how to make one document and then put everything in order, and all you have to do is to change out the information for it. To give you a heads up, I want you to make a calendar for this year. So when you put in the month, put in every month, and also put in the correct number dates for the numbers down here as well. All cool? So let's see, I'll close out the last one that I worked on. We'll start off fresh. If you want to follow along, this is where the step-by-step setup of the calendar project is on that second page that I passed out. So we'll make a new document. Nothing new here. We're going to turn off the facing pages. The height and width of it is 8 by 10. The margins are going to be 1/4 of an inch on all sides. And we're going to give it an 1/8 of an inch bleed on all sides as well. Everything else will stay the same. So here's our document set up. Here's how to make a template just like this to be reused over and over again. If you notice, I've got 2 different pages. If I add another page, I'm going to need 12 of them, I can click it and it will create a new page on down, and every page will look exactly the same. In order to do this, we need to set up what's called a master page. And if you open your Pages palette, I'll click it off so we can see it. The master page is found at the very top, and this is what we're going to be working in. So let's go back to our new document. Double click on the master page. It looks like a normal page, but once we start working in it, you'll see the difference of it. Just be sure that master is highlighted when you're working inside of it. First thing, let's set up some horizontal guides that will divide our document up in half. So I know I need one at 5, 5.5, and at 6.5. Okay. The second thing, we're going to be putting some text down here at the bottom, particularly for the month and for each of the things. So let's grab our text box. Make it large enough to write the word month in all caps. And how else do I have it? 55 point. It's going to be bold. And it's going to be center aligned. Okay, so that's an easy one. I'll even move this up from here. So you've got the month set up, and you'll change that out for each month. The next thing, we need to make little boxes for each of the days of the week. Here's the first tip on working quickly to make different text boxes. I could draw off an individual text box. I'm going to use my rectangle frame tool. With this one, I'm going to click and drag all the way across to get my width that I'm working with. And you see how you've got a W and an H next to your little cursor? That's the width and the height. I want the height of it to be 1/4 of an inch, so 0.25. Right, too far. Right there, perfect. Here's the magic part. I'm still holding down my mouse. I'm going to hit the right arrow key and watch what happens. It's going to start drawing off multiple boxes spaced out individually. So as long as I'm holding down my mouse and hitting the right arrow keys or the left arrow keys, I can add and take away boxes very quickly. Hey, if you hit the up and down arrow keys, you can also add rows of boxes as well. And so it's a great, easy way of quickly creating an entire matrix of text frame boxes that you want to work in. So naturally, we need one that's got 7 boxes. So I'm going to hit this right key 7 6 times. I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sunday through Saturday. All cool? Did I just blow y'all's mind? Very simple. Now, remember I made these using the frame tool, and I need to put text inside of them. If you ever create a frame or a picture frame and you need to change the content or the purpose of it, here's how to do this. You can go to Object. The content can be changed from a graphic. In this case, we want to put text inside of the frame we're working in. So now when I choose the Type tool, I can type in each of the days of the week. So Sunday, I'll go ahead and format these out just so that they're all the same. It needs to be 11 point, needs to be center aligned, and it needs to be all caps. Copy it, and if you paste it into each one of them, you've already got your formatting to change up everything else. Monday. All cool? Very simply, very quickly I made 7 different text boxes using the right arrow to add those together. Next thing we need to do, we need to make out a grid of lines that are evenly spaced between each of the days. So let's use our line tool to draw off some vertical lines to do this one. Nothing out of the ordinary here. I'm going to use my line tool. I've given you the specific coordinates to put your line. That way it lines up exactly right in the center. So I'm just going to draw a line from this point down, and you can type in the specific coordinates if you want. In this case, I know the x needs to be 1.2619. Uh-oh, yep, hit the wrong one. 1.2619, that's correct. The y looks good, the length of it is also okay as well. We'll hit return, so it nudged it right into place. We'll also change up the width of it. So I've got one line already created. If I wanted to copy them out, I could do Command C and V, copy and paste it, and try to drag it into place. I'm going to show you an even better way to quickly paste things into place. We're going to repeat this process. Select your line. Under Edit, we're going to use what's called Step and Repeat. Step and repeat allows you to copy a thing over and over again a specific number of times in a specific distance. So in our case, we do need 5 of them, one in between each one of these. Instead of changing it vertically, going up and down, we'll let that be 0. The horizontal shift needs to be, where did I put it down? 1. Uh-oh, I'm sorry, I'll undo that. Accidentally hit the, call it out again? 7-1. Did I mess up? 0971. All right. Oh, now something's off here. There we go. Hit your preview button and it refreshed the preview. That's why it was off by a little bit. Now you can see it's repeating this one the number of times set out that way. If I increase my count or decrease the count, you can get that number more or less. So very, very quickly I've created 5 more copies of what I needed just by doing the step and repeat. Do the same thing for the horizontal rule. We'll need one underneath here. So draw it off, change the size of it. In this case, it needs to be right at 0.25 and then 6.75. Same length, that looks good. I've got it selected. We'll do the step and repeat again. In this case, we do want 5 of them, but we only want the verticals, so 0.5. If you do have vertical and horizontal, you can see it'll go off at an angle, so we'll keep that down to 0. And this will give me the step and repeat downward that we need from there. I've got my grid. We do want to pull all of the vertical ones to match that bottom point. So if you need to select multiple ones, remember you can click and drag over just those lines, and you can pull it up to match that particular line. Very simple, very easy. So you've got another way of quickly creating something. Step and repeat is a great way of precisely counting it off. If you'll flip over on the back, last thing we need to do is to make text boxes to be in the precise place for them. So I'm going to make one text box. And I do have a specific height and width that I'm looking for, so in this case the width of it is 0.95, the height of it is 0.35. And I'm just going to eyeball it to be about the center for right there. A little bit more, right there. And we'll go ahead and type in. The reason why I use the number 88 is because this ensures that you have enough room to type a 2-digit number. 8 is kind of the largest number character that you can type out. So when I fill it in, we're going to center it. It does need to be Minion Pro, needs to be 18 point. So it's large enough. If you didn't know this, if you want your text to be centered vertically within a type box, under Object, open the text frame options. With this one, this will give you your vertical justification. And right now it's aligned to the top. If you choose center, it'll align itself to the center of whatever box that you have. That comes in handy when making that background centered up of your box. So all this is really good. We've got it set up. Now we need to make multiple copies along this one. This process, you need to have open your Align palette. With this one, I'm going to drag it off so we can see it. The Align palette will allow us to align certain things up. So I'm going to make a copy of these. We need 6 more copies. So Edit, Copy. Instead of just pasting, which would put it in the center, I'm going to paste every one of them on top of the same place. So under Edit, Paste in Place. Notice that the keyboard shortcut, this is Option, Shift, Command, V. So these three characters plus V. We'll paste the same thing on top of the area that it was in. Let's do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like nothing happened, but they're all one on top of the other. Have I lost anybody? All cool, very simple. Here's the trick to what we're going to do. I'm going to put one of these at the very end. Just kind of eyeballing the center of it. What I want to do is to distribute the rest of these 6 evenly amongst the rest of the, between these 2 selections. So I've got this one selected. I'm going to select this group by clicking, holding down the Shift key, clicking and dragging over that one. So now I've got these 6 and this one selected off to that side. Everybody get me? All cool. Here's the magic. In your Align palette, choose Align to the selection. You do not want it aligned to the page. You want to make selection pulled up. The reason why is we want it to align to whatever we have selected. And we're going to click this second to the last one where it distributes everything along the horizontal axis. With one click, all 7 are now evenly distributed along this way. Cool? Very simple. This is what happens if you had Align to Page turned on. If I distribute it, it's going to put all of them to the edge of the page that was created instead of the selection that we had, which is what we don't want to do. So make sure selection is selected and you're good for that one. Now let's copy them all to the rest of these. If you hold down your Option key, you know you can quickly make a copy of anything that you have selected. So click and drag down. What you may not know is you can repeat this duplication that you created. Under Edit, if you choose Duplicate, it will do the same thing over again. Edit, Duplicate, notice that's Option Shift Command D, and it'll duplicate it again. Option Shift D. As long as you hit that, it'll make multiple duplications over and over and over again. So very quickly, you've created an entire variety of text boxes in just a couple of clicks. Did I lose anybody? Cool. This is the basic setup for what you're going to do. So last thing we need to do is to make a picture frame so we can put our pictures into it at the very top. We're going to make this one black. And we need to make a picture frame for the background of the month. We'll make that one white. Of course, we need to send it to the back. Object, arrange, send it to the back. All right, your template is all set up. In just 10 or less minutes, you quickly set this up. Now you can reuse it on each page. I'm going to double click my regular page. That'll bring us back into normal mode. And so when I create a new page, automatically it will create the same thing over and over again. And you can create 12 of them and be able to edit them out however you want. There's one catch, however. This is what you got to pay attention to. If I try to make an edit, if I try to select anything or make any changes to this, it's not going to allow me to do it. The reason why is the template is locked. So we need to kind of, quote, unlock it so we can make changes to this particular page. Hold down the Control key and click on whatever page you want to edit. That'll give you a pop-out. We want to override all the master page items. Once it's overridden, now you can select it, you can make changes to everything that's on this particular page. Like I said, I want you to change it up to be this particular year's calendar. So if you need to erase away certain dates to start on the correct day, you can. If you run out of room, remember you can say it reaches day 24 and you need one more line, you can hit dash 30 or 25, excuse me, oops, dash 31. Does that make sense? Y'all seen calendars that'll do that? What I want you to do is, let's place a picture at the top. So I'm going to drop one in. Yeah, that looks like a good one. If you need to resize it, you can. If you need to reposition it, you can. Some of these are going to be longer than others, so you place it however you need to within here, whichever one works well. Then spend the rest of the time changing the colors to everything that's on here. Let's turn off this so we can actually see what we're working with. Here's the quick way of changing colors of any item that you have selected. Select the box. In this case, I've got the background that I'm working with, this background object. You've got a color picker, an eyedropper tool. With the eyedroppers and this selected, hold down the Option key. Anywhere I click now will automatically fill in that color. So if I wanted it to match that red or that green, as long as I'm holding down the Option key, it'll easily fill it in. I don't want to have any black seen inside of here. Actually, I kind of like the red, so we'll go with the red type color. Same way for your text. If you wanted to pick a color that matches the text inside of it, choose your, highlight your text, choose your eyedropper tool and hold down Option, and it will automatically change the color of the text that you're working with. I'll go one step further. Here's how to change all the text within the document. Select it all. You notice now your color picker, you've got a bunch of question marks, but if you choose the formatting of the text effect, there it is, all one color. So if I wanted to quickly change everything to be that color, in one simple move, I'm able to do that out as well. Change everything, including the lines, to match whatever color scheme you want it to be. So you'll have to actually select the individual lines and change those up as well to work from. Any questions on this particular project? Very simple. The hardest thing to do is just to get the template set up. As soon as it's set up, then all you've got to do is drop in the information and format it. This project will be due next Tuesday, so you've got a week to work on it. remember, this class will be open even though we're not meeting if you want to work on Thursday as well. All cool? Question?
End of class next Tuesday?
Depends on how far y'all get. Most people were able to get pretty far, so I think you can probably finish this up by the beginning of class next Tuesday. All right.